And hello, hello, hello. And we are here again at the Out of the Mud Studios in the beautiful downtown Flint. And today we're at Lessons with Larry, episode 66, with your host, Stephanie Winfrey, Money Mike, and your special guest, Juice the Truth. And here's Larry.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. How y'all doing out there? I just want to send a special shout out to my guests. Starting with Miss Winfrey, Miss Stephanie Winfrey. I'm glad you was able to make it. Although you went out in studio, you still here. And
I'm
Miss
still here.
Juice. Yeah, how you doing?
I'm good.
Okay, okay. Miss Juice, the truth. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thank you for inviting me again.
Yeah,
Inviting me
glad
back.
glad to have you. We value your opinion, and your
hmm
views. And then my main man right here, Money Mike. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, bro.
Okay, okay.
Good.
Yeah, today's subject is what's the best way to strengthen the communications between adults and children slash youth? What's the best way to strengthen the communications? Because I believe that there's a slight problem with that. With the older people being able to communicate with the younger people and effectively. To
hmm
where the younger people want to listen and want to take your advice. As opposed to a lot of times we find ourselves we may be talking at them and then they don't feel like we talking to them. You know what I mean? So how
Yeah.
y'all feel about that?
Yeah, I think that's definitely an issue that can be easily solved though. So I have a 18, almost 19-year-old daughter.
Okay,
I think we communicate pretty well. We don't have a lot of the issues that teenage daughters usually have growing up. And that's because I give her the opportunity to express herself without punishment. So
that's
I
good.
think that helps a lot.
So, if you mind me asking,
Mhm.
when did that start, and when was you conscious of saying, "I'm going to develop a way of communicating, with effective way of communicating with my daughter"? When did that occur, and
Mhm.
what was your recipe for that?
So that probably occurred. I think last show, I mentioned a situation that happened with me and my mom.
Okay, I remember that.
So I was an adult at the time. My daughter was probably about 6 or 7, maybe 8 years old at the time,
Okay,
and we had a huge blowout.
okay,
And we've always I grew up having bad communication with my mom. My mom, we were always like, anything that she said was right because she was the adult type of situation. So after this situation happened with me and my mom, that's when I decided that it was not going to transfer to me and my daughter.
yeah,
So
not
I started working more on myself and how I
right,
communicate versus how to communicate
right,
with her because she was
right,
going to mirror whatever I do anyway.
right.
So
Because if I remember right, she was like, "Hey, mom, I love you, but I'm just bringing this up for a second." And it was where you felt as though you was embarrassed real
yeah,
bad, and then you said it in return that I'll never do this to my child.
yeah.
So I remember you saying that part right there.
hmm
Okay.
What about you, Miss
Oh, oh,
Stephanie?
and your temperature check. You
Yeah,
say you had to do a temperature check for yourself.
definitely did. I
Okay,
definitely did.
okay, Steph.
Yeah.
Well, I I think me and my mom, we always communicated real good. My mother, I never talked back to my mother. Me and her never really had no fallout or none of that. And I don't know, my mother was a real discipliner. And you know how you had those parents when you gave them that look, and when you give them that look, you knew exactly what to do. And my mother knew that. She had to hit me one time. She socked me one time, and that was it. And you didn't
So,
have to worry about me no more.
so hold up.
But
So was you was that your way of? Did you find that being your way of parenting?
no, actually, and I never whooped my daughter. And I think wait a minute. Now I got two daughters. I have one that's almost 40, and I have another daughter that's 20. So that's two different generations. My oldest daughter, I never had to whoop her or do anything because she was very obedient. I didn't have that talk back with her or that mouth. Maybe when she got a little about 17, and that's when girls start to kind of really feel themselves. And I had a little issues with her, but never, you know, never really had that fallout. Now that 20-year-old, it's a different generation. And we always falling out all the time. And I didn't change no technique from the first one to the second one. I was always the same mother. But at the younger generation, and I have to say that because I have two generations. I have an older generation and I have a younger generation, 20 years apart almost.
Okay.
And it's a big difference. And I still can't figure it out.
Okay. Let me ask you this: have anybody ever used the approach of being friends with their children?
Yep. And they always say, well, and her dad, the youngest one, dad said, well, you let her get away with too much. And not that I was being friends with her. I just think I spoiled her more because I was compensating the fact that her dad wasn't in her life like that. And I think I overcompensated for that. The oldest one, dad was. So I didn't have to, and that made a big difference with the father being there. So with the
Okay.
father being in the oldest one's life, she obeyed more. She didn't want no smoke from her dad. But that baby one, and I think it was a lot because the father wasn't in the household, and I see the difference. Because I think if her
Okay.
father had been in the household, I think things would be totally different.
Okay. Okay. Well,
So,
yeah.
and that goes back to the father's missing out of the household, and especially when the girl, and this is between girls and mothers. Now it could be different scenario with the boys and fathers, and even with the girls and fathers, because the girls seem to obey their dad. Seem like they don't have too much slack out of them. I don't know. That's just what I think.
So for me, um, I believe that older people make better parents. Because you kind of like know what your children are gonna be up against, and you can look at your children by the way they move and the way they behave and things of that nature, and just kind of get a glimpse as to how you think they will turn out with the right proper guidance. But I never ever seen myself as a friend with any of my children. Matter of fact, I even went out my way to let them know I'm not your friend. My oldest was born in '86, and I'm like, look here, man, you ain't even old enough to be my friend. I ain't got no friends that was born in '86. You know what I mean? And the reason why I took that approach, again, we got good relation. I got a good relationship with all my children, but by me taking that approach, I took a no nonsense approach in terms of I'm not gonna play with you because too much play leads to disrespect. And I grew up
Absolutely.
respecting my parents and respecting my elders. And since I put in so much work res- respecting when I was younger, then I'm taking it up on myself to make sure that I get my issue back to me because I treat my respect like a loan and not a gift. If I give you a gift, then you can tell me thank you. You don't have to, but you could, and you may get another gift. But if you don't tell me thank you, you ain't got to worry about that happening no more. So the same thing with my respect. I'm loaning that to you. So make sure you pay that back. You know what I mean? So that was just my approach, in terms of and it kind of worked out because I communicate well with him. I don't my father, one thing about my father, he never lied to me about nothing. I mean, I'm serious. Whatever the question was, if you can come up with the question on your own, he gonna give you the proper right answer. I don't care what it is. I even asked about prostitution, and he gave me the whole solid answer. Maybe I shouldn't, but I guess he felt I'm not gonna be known for be lying to you, and you're gonna get the best truth. You're gonna get the best advice, and it's gonna be the truth. So I think that worked it well because out of even in his absence, I still respected him so much for being, just being truthful with me. So yeah, yeah.
So
But
now me personally, I have a good communications with my kids, with my girls. But what my biggest thing is tonight that I was questioning, first let me applaud all parents who have good communication and good relationship with their children. I think that's beautiful. But what I'm asking on this show is what is the best ways to strengthen the communication between adult and children slash youth. Meaning it don't even have to be your kid. It could be your kid. Because the fact is, for every success story we have with everybody getting along with it, there's a lot of kids out here that's not getting the proper attention and respect as young adults, children, youth, not getting a respect. Some parents don't know how to get the communication and respect with their kids. So I'm trying to see what methods that we may can suggest in helping to strengthen any of us. Because it was a time when I came up, we remember not only if the mother and them in the house at work, if you outside, you got 8, 9 different sets of parents that'll catch you, talk to you about some stuff, straighten you out, and we knew respect our elders. But there is so many things that took place in life now that some kids has been disrespected, have been let down by adults and brushed off. So they don't have the understanding to listen to mom's dad or
A
friend,
neighbor, anything.
any of that.
Right.
So what can we come up with suggestion methods to try to strengthen communicating with them instead of saying, "Oh, this is a lost child. Oh, it ain't worth this." What can we do to try to get the two-way communication going
Hmm.
effectively?
I think
Well, I
learning. I'm sorry. Go
mhm.
ahead.
No, go ahead. You go ahead.
Just making it safe for them to be able to speak. A lot of kids don't speak because they don't feel like they will be listened to, or that it's even safe to say certain things. A lot of kids won't. They won't speak clearly, or they won't speak like vulnerably if they don't feel safe in doing so. So I think just making a safe space for kids to speak, not waiting until they are in trouble for something to have a
Right.
conversation with them. I think that's a lot. Most people wait. Most adults, parents wait until their kid get in trouble to try and talk to them. And at that time, kids are not listening if
Right.
they are already,
Right.
emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
And
Go
I
ahead.
tried and I tried that tactic with my youngest one. Um, I've set her down even at the age of, I want to say, 10 years old, because all her friends were kind of older. She developed, um she started growing up really fast because all her friends was older. She hang around older people. So I sat her down when I recognized that, and I always had conversation with her, and I tried to teach her from home off of my knowledge and the things that I went through childhood, and the things and what the world consists of. And I try to, instead of her, I always use that motto: I rather for mama to teach you at home than for you to be taught out there in the streets by somebody that don't really care about you. And I
Hmm.
always try to bring up all the scenarios, everything that was going on out there. But I think in this generation, what I'm feeling is that social media have a lot to do with it, because the disrespect was always there. And I didn't deserve that because I never tried to be her friend, because I'm a big discipliner. Taking the phone away. You know, you can't go to dance practice. If you did this, even when it came down to grades, you can't do this if your grades is not there. So I always, you know, was 10 toes down on discipline. But I think it was the crowd that they acquire sometimes, the friends that they acquire. And now, mind you, by me being an older mom, all her friends' mothers was in their late 20s and early 30s. And I was in my late 40s, and I'm in my almost 50. Now, most of her friends' moms was in their 30s. So you had younger women, you know, that was raising up the kids. And I was old enough to be her friend's mom's mother.
Right.
And she would
But
and she would say, well, mom, her mama don't do this and her mama don't do that. And I'm like, well, I'm not their mom, you know.
you
And
think
and
that
that
might
was
have
always. confusing to me. I'm like, how do I back, combat that?
You think that might have affected your way between your communications between you two,
Oh,
the two of you?
absolutely. Because she listened to their mom when she go to their house. She listened to their moms instead of listen to me because she felt that they were younger. Mama, you old. You don't
They
know.
hipper.
They always
We have
throw
a
that out. Mama,
different
you
communication
old.
style.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now I agree with you about the social media thing, right?
Mhm.
But at the same time, we have to take responsibility for not really thoroughly investigating social media because a lot of parents, special single parents, decided that, hey, because I can sit and see that they safe to stay in the house and mess with their laptops and things of that, we did not know that that was raising the kids. We didn't investigate what was actually on there. So we sort of opened the door up for some of this miseducation that these kids receive, which is a problem. But solutions, let's try to get up on here with some solutions.
What
Well,
can we use?
Miss Terra Lisa said first, we as adults need to open a safe space for them to open up to us, which
Yeah,
is
that's the same
same
thing.
thing as well as you were saying
Hmm.
Juicy
as
Truth
well.
said.
So that's one step, and then
That's
we need
one
to find
suggestion, right?
other ways. One of my things is this. I just mine is I think that they don't get heard out. I just think they don't have a voice. I think they done got judged and then got sentenced and not given opportunity
And
to
convicted.
be talked to and nurtured and hugged and the right way to get them into them spaces that
Hmm.
they suggested.
Yeah.
mm,
Now,
Set
there's another one.
boundaries.
I mean, in some cases, yeah, but my kids were always loved and hugged and spoiled, and I mean, in
Yeah.
some cases,
But
yeah.
then, but let's go. Okay, which I wasn't making it. I was hearing you out.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
when it come to you, sometimes I can't say speak on you, but sometimes if it ain't that, then it's like, once again, the key is getting that open up. There is kids that you may have done the best you can as a parent, but don't realize you've offset them. You've offended them some type of way. They may have mistaken something and they have an issue with you. So you have to find out if they have an issue and resolve it, and then you might can get the results.
Hmm.
Right. That makes sense.
Mm, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Now,
I-
Okay.
your eyes is better.
Yeah, Terry
Tara
Lisa.
Lisa says set boundaries that teaches them the value of respect, holding them accountable for the things they initiate or get involved with. Listen to them and guide them towards better decisions.
Facts.
yeah.
Yeah.
Facts. I agree with
Hold on,
that.
hold on a minute, y'all.
And can we be
Oh,
honest about this? I don't know about you. You're a little younger,
Hmm.
What?
but maybe I know for a fact that we didn't sit and develop the attitude that when our parents done told us about some stuff, and we're like, oh, mom, I'm old as hell. They don't know what they talking about, and really think they don't have knowledge.
Yeah.
We young and train ourselves to that. Like they don't know what they talking about. Just
Hmm.
for instance, this is not a knock on my little cousin, but her mom told her today, she mentioned,
mhm,
she said, hey, I got this cramp again.
mhm.
Her mother immediately said, hold on, you got it again? We need to go to the hospital because it could be something. And uh, they end up out at the hospital. That's why she
After
didn't make
she
it in.
refused, because she don't believe nothing that I say, even though I've been in the medical field, I've been and I do this. And I know
Hmm.
all the signs and symptoms of certain things. And she like, oh, Ma, you don't know. I said, okay, well, lay down there on the couch then. I left.
Mm,
She called me, Ma, I think you're right. I think I need to go to the hospital. Duh. I
right.
mean, because
Yeah, I think
I've been trying to tell you this, but she never, never. But
yeah.
her friends, they did diagnosed her and everything. And she went with that. So,
But
and I think it's just the company, sometimes the influence, the, you know, the influence that people can have over certain people that overpower the parenting.
Well,
You
can I
know.
get all you guys' opinion on this? We saying in some of these situations is this, is that, is this. But would the safest thing be, what do they call that when they come through your house and they say you having a shortage and they say, well, I'm gonna do a diagnose,
Diagnosis.
but you start. It would be safe to say to start within your house first
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
and with ourselves first.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's take a real look at ourselves and try to talk with them to see if it's a breakdown. Because it just sounds like it's a breakdown somewhere. Because no matter how much good sense you
Hmm.
making, that
Hmm.
trigger come and it block you out. So I think we
Mhm.
all have to start if we have that particular
Well,
issue.
and let me say this. We all, when we're in single parent homes, we all inherit other relationships, right? So you might have stepfathers, boyfriends that come into the household, girlfriends, stepmoms. I'm taking it both ways because it's not just with me. I'm talking about for anybody that's been through this. And when you have other people that comes into the home, those kids look at that. Those kids look at that man that mom's dealing with. Them kids look at that woman that dad is, dealing with. And sometimes it's a resistance with that. Sometimes they it's a I won't say a jealousy, but they get
Resentment.
territorial.
Resentment
Or
too.
mentally they can feel that the dynamics has changed. And wait a minute, you done switched up on me because of these people. That's why I'm saying check within ourselves and alone, because something unbeknownst to us we may have done to put
Hmm.
them in that mode.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah, they may feel like they may feel some resentment. I can see, they
Yep.
might feel like, hey, you choosing this person over me, so
Yep.
why I want to listen to you? So
That's
but
it right there.
yeah, I believe that a lot of it has to do with the good communication skills start from the beginning. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So a lot of us as parents, we've put we've put our responsibility on autopilot as far as raising our children and making sure that they have the firm foundation, you know what I mean, built as far as
Mhm.
communication. So that started when they first started talking, you
Because
know.
he was guilty of
Right.
that.
Yeah, yeah,
He was
facts.
guilty of that when we
Facts.
was kids.
What?
When I came around, when I came around, see, this why I have a, which I don't want to change it to subject, but see, his mom is my mom. I'm not finna say no different
Yeah,
because she
facts.
treated me no different. But when he had to share the car now, it was a problem. But I'm gonna skip that one. That's another hookup. But go ahead.
Yeah, but, hey, Greg was I ain't listen off something, but Greg was telling me last night. He said, "Man, he said, could he said, man, I could be on the punishment, man, and you couldn't do no wrong in mama eyes, man. You was the kid that did never do nothing. Everybody loved you, man. You could be on the punishment, you still can come spend the night. You know what I mean? But little did they know. But nevertheless, but communication is very important. And far as communicating with your child at an early age and starting it and building on that, I think that's very helpful. If you take the
Yeah.
time to, take the time to let them know, hold on, I'm an adult. I take
Hmm.
care of you at this point, but I
and
still value your opinion.
Mhm.
So
and
share
I
your
think,
opinion with
You have a mentoring program. You
facts.
mentor to a group of young men.
Yeah,
So therefore, all of them is not on the same page. You had to go individually
right.
and get some. How did that go with you getting the understanding and the respect that you got from them in your mentoring program?
Okay. So like with them, my little guys, what I call my nephews, but nevertheless, my little nephews, they they all come from different homes and whatnot. And like I told people when I was telling people, people ask me what I do and what I'm doing with them. I say, but it's not a, oh, how do you do it? Hold on, it's not a one size fit all, because these are individuals.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So you may have to address individual situations and communicate with them individually, as opposed to one size fit all. I'm gonna say this one phrase and it's gonna apply to everybody.
Mhm.
It's not like that. So, but I got a strong line of communications with them, and they don't lie to me. They tell me the
But
truth,
how did
even
you get to that point? Is what I'm saying.
because
When
I had to build
you
their
had to
trust up first.
interview them,
First, I had to,
because you had to
I had,
find
Yeah,
out like
I
what's
think
yeah,
that's
going
that's
on
big
with
building their
each
trust.
one, which
I had,
one's character.
yeah,
You
I
had
had,
to examine them.
and all while I was assessing their characters, I also built trust. Where they knew they can trust me. If I say I'm coming, I'm coming.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Ain't no,
Excuses.
yeah, no excuse. If I say I'm gonna get you this, you got that.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So once they seen that I was consistent, and they seen that, hold on, if Uncle Larry said he gonna play it. You know what I mean? So that made a world of difference, and I think that's part of the success that I'm having with them children.
Yeah,
You know,
I
And
think
can
spill the
I?
juice. Spill the juice.
Yes.
Spill the juice.
disciplining children can close them down too, close them out too. Learning how to discipline style, like most parents discipline, and
Hollering.
I've seen it where parents always think they're right, like they can't learn anything from kids. But if you really sit down and talk to a kid, you will learn a lot that you didn't know before. And I think that
Facts.
makes them feel a lot more comfortable confiding in you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Facts.
So when you said discipline, though, now you gotta have some discipline.
Hmm.
So you was
Absolutely.
let me break that down into different
My
types that you
discipline
feel is
style with
effective.
my kids, where I used to whoop them,
Now is this
like
non-effective now?
I don't whoop them anymore. I
No,
stopped doing
was that
that.
what I'm
Was
asking?
it effective?
Was it non-effective or was it
Um,
effective?
I think it was effective to a certain extent. I didn't like how it became effective because I don't want them to be afraid of anybody. I don't want them to
Okay.
be
So
afraid to
now
express
you
themselves.
changed up.
I changed my
Share that.
yeah,
Now
my
share that
discipline
one.
style. We talk. Like we
Yeah. See,
talk.
that's communication,
We talk
and that's
about everything. You get in trouble where I used to, whoop my son when he got in trouble in school. Now I'm like, okay, come in here. We got to talk because it's a reason why you did that. It's a reason why, and we got to understand that kids gonna make some mistakes. We're adults and we make mistakes.
we made them
I make
along the way.
mistakes at work,
Yeah.
some days where I might not do that well at work, and I might get rolled up at work, just like they might not do that well at school. And my son, I had to realize my son, he have his days and he's human. Like he's able to make mistakes and come back from 'em. I can't like discipline him and tell him all the time, you wrong, because I don't know exactly what made him do what he did. So my point is always just trying to figure out where was your thinking when you did that, like what made you want to do that. So we talk about everything, and I use that more as a punishment versus him. He probably prefer to get a whooping versus
Get it
talking to
over
me,
with.
because now we about to talk, and when I say talk, we gonna sit here for
Go
some
down
hours and
through
we
there.
gonna figure it out. It ain't just why you do that, okay, you can no. Now we got to get down to the problem. So we're really diving in deep into, well, why would you do this? Well, next time, what would you do in this type of situation? Okay, if this happened again, how would I want to? I put him in his back in the situation. If you was back in this situation, what would you do to make it better? Or sometimes we have to ask questions. What can I do to help you? And I don't think a lot of parents ask that.
Okay.
So
Let me
Tara
say
Lisa
What
this
did
right.
Tara
said,
Lisa say?
Sheila,
Hmm.
Tara Lisa said, first we as adults need to open and
No, no. She said conversation
oh yeah, that's
is
right.
key.
Got it.
Conversation.
That's how I raise my children and
Hmm.
grandchildren. Shout out to Terry Lisa. How you
Right.
doing?
But now,
Yeah,
Tara Lisa,
conversation is the
would
key.
you say that yours is effective and you where you at with them in an open and good relationship and communication way? You can text that in.
Now, when you was talking to when you to piggyback off Juice the Truth, when
Hmm.
you was saying disciplines, discipline style, right?
Hmm.
So, what I found that a lot of parents, especially single parents, they holler a lot.
Hmm.
And
Out
once
of
yeah,
frustration.
that's just like my mother. She'll holler at you and holler at me in a minute, and to the where
Hmm.
it became a trigger for me as an adult. You can. I listen to anything you got to say, but just don't holler at me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that
That'll
hollering
make you
was some.
shut
It
down.
make me shed all the way
I think
down
it make
real
most
fast.
kids shut down
Right? And
when they
that's
get hollered at. You got to think, as an adult, do you want somebody hollering
no,
at you
I
when you
don't.
do
That's
stuff
what.
wrong? You
Yeah.
want them to sit down and talk to you and explain to you that was wrong and
and,
this is what you could do
and
next time.
respect the fact that I'm
Yeah.
gonna make a mistake because I'm a child, and
Hmm.
that's why I made a mistake because I didn't understand what I was supposed to do. So
So
you don't
Yeah.
holler, yeah, that hollering.
as parents, then if we on 10, because something you mean it, what the hell. So
You
what you saying? Take a time out before you approach them with
yeah, take a
Yeah.
discipline.
deep breath
Host with
yeah.
emotion. You want
Yeah.
to say something?
Well, yeah. I mean, I agree totally with everybody. Especially juice the truth. It's the tactic. But I also feel like that in the process of trying to talk to the kids or children or boys or girls or your, like for me, once I say something, I'm saying it nice. I'm a hypothetically, if I say go wash the dishes, can you or I ask, I don't even say go. Can you wash the dishes for me, please? And if I ask and I go and I come back and they still not done, I give myself a minute. They still not done, but you on social media, you on that phone, and you know you doing what you want to do, and the dishes still not done, and I leave out again. 4 hours then went by. You didn't have 4 hours to do these. Now I'm upset. So what do you do with that?
You know, but even in a situation like that, the communications is very instrumental, and it start with you, with your communication. You know,
Okay,
the
Mhm.
so
way you
what do you
communicate.
do? Where
So
where did
first of
where
all,
would I have gone wrong by asking?
you know, well, I would just say still, you still have to talk to him. So you know what I'm saying? Did I
That
just
was
asked you?
talking.
Hold on, I just asked you, 30 minutes ago to do
Yeah.
this. You know, I my daughter, she get me now because she kind of like feel like she was born to tell me what to do. So when I asked her to do something, her mama can ask her and she can do it immediately. But when I
Hmm.
asked her to do something, she gonna do this first and do that for second. But I still don't holler at her. I just be like,
Hmm.
Alina, didn't I tell you? I told you,
Right.
but I had to let her know I'm serious, but without hollering. And then she be like,
Yeah.
okay, Dad, I'm apologizing. She do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What we got?
Well, and I get that,
Sarah
and I
Lisa
and I
said,
go through all of that before I really get upset, because for one, if I'm out taking care of the bills, I'm paying bills, I'm going grocery shopping, I take care of my mother, and I'm doing stuff for her, and I'm doing everything. So when I come home, I want the kitchen clean so that I can cook. So when I and yet
Mhm.
you'd have had all day. And I try not to get upset, and I still be patient. And I think one of the other things too is I think during the course of the time, she was sick a lot when she was younger, and I overcompensated for the dad, and I overcompensated for the illness. So then she got spoiled. So if I tell her to do something, well, Mama, I don't feel good. I got this migraine headache, and now we don't worry about it. Lay down, I'll do it. So now it's like she still has that mentality. Mama gonna do it. Mama
Well,
gonna
can I ask
take
you?
care of
Can
it.
I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you compensated, which
Yeah.
means which means you went in overprotective mode, spoiling and
Yeah.
everything. Okay, but now as as she's grown now, are you still uh spoiling, or
Yeah.
have you drew a line? You
Um.
haven't drew no boundaries. See, you
Yeah.
opened it up with no boundaries. So it sound like you still got it open with no boundaries.
Well, now what the problem is, it's hard to come with the boundaries now because I never put them in place. So once you don't have something in place, and when you get older, it's hard to put it in place. So now I believe
Should
that
establish it in the beginning.
that's where it come in at. Now I'm gonna put boundaries, and Mama, like her daddy always said, "Well, Step, you should have did that, 12 years ago. You should, now you want to
Something
try
got
it
to
strong."
change. Something's got to change.
Yeah.
Yeah, but hey, I'm putting the boundaries, but I am seeing a difference, because no, I'm not buying you another car. This will be your eighth car. No, I'm not buying
So
no
you
more
are
cars.
changing, yeah. Good. So you are changing things,
Oh
and you
yeah,
have
I'm
to
not buying no
monitor it.
more cars.
Yeah.
I done bought her 7 cars. No, no, I'm not buying another car. Get you a
She would have
job now.
been riding the bike.
All
But
right.
go ahead.
But a lot of these parents, I'm gonna say this, which I commend all you mothers for having that mother love, because
Right,
God knows a lot of
Hold on, man.
fathers, a lot of fathers though have not played their part.
right.
But at the same time, you gotta put some boundaries in there,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it
Ter-
or
I
not.
think parents even in the same household, parents have different ways of communicating with their kid.
Right.
Yeah,
Like
because they
my
come from different households,
yeah.
Good cop, bad cop,
different
good parent,
Yeah.
bad
households.
parent. But you got it some with Terry Lisa.
Teresa said, sometimes there's no handbook on raising kids or life, but you
Absolutely.
instill in them that you are the superior without being violent or harsh.
Mm.
But
Mhm.
respectfully, you need boundaries so they have room to grow and get to know you as the parent, not
The drill sergeant
sergeant or
Yeah.
warden.
or
Yep.
warden. Conversation
conversations
go.
Warden.
work best when you allow them to use
Their
their
voice.
voice.
That's right. 1,000% to at
Yeah.
least.
I think
Yeah.
checking in with kids, initiating conversations without, like I said, without them being in trouble first, but just initiating conversations. And I always tell or think about it like this, like, you know that your kid is going to be influenced by other people on the outside because you can't be around them 24/7. They go to school. Like my daughter, she goes to school, she goes to work. I know she's going to be influenced by other people. So I
Facts.
do my best to try to have more conversations with her so that my influence is bigger.
Right.
So and a lot of parents don't initiate conversations. A lot of conversations can be uncomfortable for parents to initiate. So a lot of parents don't just sit down and talk with them without a reason. Like I don't need a reason. I call my daughter,
Yeah.
"Hey, come here, let me check in
Yeah.
with you. How's your mental health? Like what you been, sometimes you have to ask questions because they're not just gonna come out and tell you either."
Right.
Because a shouting match definitely ain't gonna get you nowhere.
Mm.
Yeah,
Facts.
mine don't like me doing that. They want me to
Yeah,
mind my
and
business.
that's where we have to sit. That's one key right there. If you know they don't like that, right? But your objective is to get through with your kid to strengthen it.
That ain't gonna
We
get.
got to
That ain't the
take
way
that
to
out of
go.
play
That
and
Mhm.
ain't
say,
the
well,
way to
hey,
go.
it's worth it because it's worth saving a child. And the reason I even picked this topic is I done talked with several, well, I don't want to say several, but I've talked to a few different female friends, associates, and this their problem. One of their kids love taking off going to Detroit, get with her girls and go. And go to the gas station. They don't even see when somebody walking up on them. And his mother love her child to death, but the daughter just don't want to recognize what the mother is trying to protect her and save her. She get ready,
Yeah.
hey, they ain't just run up meeting young guys. Well, because we
Mhm.
got to understand this. They're not saying it, but it speaks for itself. There is a lot of missing people coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Facts.
Men, women, kids,
Children.
they're coming up missing. They
Mhm.
just don't put it, they'll put a little something out there. But hey, man, there's something going on terribly with all these missing people all over the world. My personal opinion, I think they get kidnapped and selling body parts.
I mean, yeah. I
Hey,
don't.
man,
You
because if
know.
a
Absolutely.
rich person need a liver or something, hey,
Mhm.
man, a person to go get it. you know.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of
Demand,
missing
supply and
people
demand.
coming up. At first, it used to be the little kids. Every blue moon or late, everybody leave the house almost by themselves. Somebody's not coming back home,
Yeah.
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 and they're not really speaking on it as much as they should.
Right.
Unfortunately, we cannot we can't show them everything. Some things they're gonna have to learn on their
Oh no,
own.
that's true.
And it's like at this point, with my daughter being 18, like it's some places where she might want to go, and I'm just like, oh, I don't want her to go there. But I trust my parenting enough to know that
Right.
okay, if I send her here, she, my influence should be in her head when it comes time to make a decision.
So is it fair to say that you feel at least that you have some communication with her,
Hmm.
that she's going to listen to a little something you say, even though she go do it. That's a
Yeah,
better chance than
I
having
always
one
tell her
won't listen to you.
I always tell her the consequences of certain actions. Okay, you can go out there. If this might happen, this could happen, it's possible this could happen. Like you got to know what to do in these type of situations. But sometimes, like I've seen kids, grow up in some of the best homes and still go left. And it's because of the
Yeah.
influence that they have on the outside.
And,
I have,
but it was some of them with no boundaries.
yeah,
You
Yeah.
letting them do what they
Yeah.
want to. But then it was a young lady, excuse me, put on Facebook. She went to do her shopping at night Walmart.
Yeah.
Up at Walmart, and she said it was a lady and a man. They was doing it as a team, following her and different stuff. Then slid up on her when she was putting her groceries in her car. But fortunately, another lady was sitting there and peeped the whole thing too. you know.
Mhm.
So they, they went on about their business. But there's females that make friends with you right quick,
Mhm.
set you up. So and then you got the famous thing everybody is say, uh, I'm not gonna live my life in fear. No,
Mhm.
not fear, but be conscious.
Yeah.
And
Be
then,
aware.
don't get me wrong, I do not underestimate the power of God. They'll tell you in a minute, I'm covered in the blood. Yeah, you're covered in the blood, but God also gave you the freedom of choice, gave your mind
Absolutely.
to make
Wisdom.
right, to make decisions.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah. You know.
Well, I mean, all that's good and all, but I also was a teacher, right? I was a substitute teacher, and when the kids come in, you can always tell that the parents was going through something because the children would come in a reflection of that. And
Steph,
I think a lot of parents don't take accountability. A lot of parents don't take accountability on their kids' mental health. They don't take responsibility for that. Because when parents go through single, together, or whatever, them kids is watching.
what was some
Them,
of their actions in your class?
pardon me?
What was some of their actions in your class?
I mean, I had some come in crying. Some didn't even want to go back home.
Mm. Did
I
they
mean,
anyone open up and talk to you?
yeah, some
Okay.
came in with shoes, they toes hanging out the front of their shoes, and it was just some sad stuff I seen. And
Okay.
and you know me, Mike, I'm always trying to help somebody. I was ready to take them home, but I knew that wasn't my place but I knew it was something going on in the household. And
Did you
and
ever
it's
try to talk to the parents or
oh
talk to
yeah, but when
report
I
it to the
call them,
counselor?
that's not my problem. That's your problem. They're in your hands right now. I mean,
And I agree. A lot of parents, once they send them to school, they really feel that the teachers is the parents at that moment. I
Mhm.
agree. I
yeah, and I got that a whole lot. And
but
then
how?
the last time I taught, I went out in the hallway to talk to another teacher. I came back in the classroom. The boys had them push their chairs all the way to the corner, and the girls was in there just twerking for the boys. And I walked in there, and they all lined them. I lined them all up. I lined them all up. I said, now each and every one of y'all going down here to this office, and you're gonna talk to the principal, and I'm gonna let the principal take care of this. I said,
Yeah,
because what are you doing?
yeah, but
And the
that was
girl,
40
but
years ago.
before I sent the girls down there, I had a talk with them, and I taught them about respect, not for me, but for yourself.
So, right.
Mhm.
You have to have respect for yourself as girls growing to women. Y'all do,
Right.
and you doing that for them boy. Oh man, it
Yeah,
was
but
something.
40 years ago, twerking wasn't out 40 years ago, was it?
No, it was the
What was
shake.
the dance? Oh,
It
they
was
was
the
doing the
shake.
shake. They was doing the shake.
It was the
Okay.
shake.
Okay.
It
But
was
The
now
it was
half our
always
audience don't
something.
even know what y'all
one
talking
other
about.
But let me
question.
tell you, back when we had the paddle. I got paddle for
Right.
chewing gum. So
How did
the
that help your
dynamics have
communication?
changed with disciplining.
That safe place for no time.
We
Yeah.
can't discipline the kids in school no more.
Oh, they took the paddles out. But how
They took
now?
everything out.
So explain this one last thing question I have for it. How did your entire class flunk?
Now that listen, I was just a sub. Now that's on the
Oh,
teacher.
oh, I thought you. Oh, okay. Thanks for clearing that
No,
up.
but they love me. They
Yeah.
love me because I was that one that they Miss Winfrey. Here come Miss Winfrey. I made them smile and laugh, and a lot of them didn't get that at home. I was the one that made them crack up. Oh, she's so funny. And I made fun out of the homework, out of the work, because
Right.
me being the sub, I let them go over their homework or whatever the teacher had gave them. And I made fun out of it. And I made them laugh. And a lot of them kids had not even been laughing. And they would just couldn't wait to even get to my class.
So
So
you
that let
studied
me
them.
know that it's a family dynamics that's going on at home. And the parents are not taking accountability on where their kids are mentally.
So you studied them, and then use the technique on them to get through to them to get them.
Yep.
And that's the same thing we have to do as parents
Yeah, you
and
have to.
But
communicating with us.
that was hard for me to do. And when I was listening to Larry, as Larry tried, how he get the trust with the boys that's growing into men, get their trust. But
Mhm.
see, it's for me to do my own child the way I do them kids, my own ain't gonna listen to me like that. Now, somebody might, you can go and talk to my daughter. She'll listen to you. She'll listen to Larry. She'll listen to Juice. She'll listen to anybody but me because I'm mama. And
Well,
I
you
think
know
a
what?
lot of kids are like that. I know
But you,
many of my
but what's
friends'
the one
children.
thing
I
she
talk to
said?
my friends' kids
Right. But what's the one thing she said when we
about what
when I said, well, what's the problem that you won't listen with your mom? What did she say?
I can't. What did she tell you?
She said you shout at the time. She said you shout
Yep,
and only hear things the way you want to hear it.
yep,
I mean, when we
yep.
frustrated, because listen, let's get this straight too. When parents, especially single parents, going through things, it's so much stress. It's
Mm-hmm.
hard to just be this certain way because we human and we
Mm-hmm.
full of emotions and stuff. But sometimes we got to take that time out and go
Well,
about it and approach it different so we
yeah,
can
and
be
and
on
the
that
approach
page.
at first, the approach was different at first. But see, when I get mad, it's because I done told you 1,000 times already in the best possible respectful way. Because I'm gonna give you
Yeah.
respect in the best possible, but they take that for granted. Especially mine by being spoiled. Take it for granted. Mama ain't serious. Oh, don't worry about it. I get to it when I get to it.
Mhm.
So by the time that 1,001 time come, I done went straight through the roof.
So what? So what? To all this is a question to everybody.
Hmm.
So what would y'all suggest to do differently
Mhm.
to get the desired results?
I
Hmm.
mean,
We can start with ladies first. Whoever.
Um,
Yeah, okay.
do
Even
something
even hold
differently
up,
than.
or let me say this:
Hmm.
even if you know somebody who you see they have a younger child or children or whatever, and you see the way that they discipline, their children, or they communicate with them. Excuse me,
Hmm.
the way that they communicate with their children. What would you suggest to that person, even if they don't know it's you? But what would you suggest to them if you know what I'm saying? For them to, for
When
them
it
to get
comes to the parent and how they communicate, a lot of parents don't recognize that they communicate in a negative way. I think the first thing is to become aware of that. You got to become aware of how you communicate with your kids, because a lot of parents don't respect their kids. They don't show their kids respect, and they don't feel like their kids deserve respect. But if you want your kid, like, the way that you communicate with your kid is how they're going to expect other people to communicate with them as well. And if you're yelling, cussing at your kid, they would think that it's okay for other people to do that too. So I
Mhm.
don't I try not to do that with my kids. Whenever we have any type of issue, I always sit them down and talk to them. And the one of the most important things that helps us is I apologize when I'm wrong.
flat out?
And a lot of
mm,
parents
That's
don't
key.
apologize to
Wow,
their
that's
that's
right.
kids.
definitely
That's
one of
right.
the key things.
Yes, that's a fact.
Yeah,
That's a fact.
that's huge. Like that helps a lot in me and my daughter's relationship, like with her being a young adult. There are some things where I do feel like I'm right, but I'm gonna give you the choice. I would tell her, this is what I believe you should do, but you gonna do what you want to do.
Right.
But this is what I believe you should do, and this is why I believe you should do it. So some things have to be explained,
Yeah.
and you got to learn. You got to know when to apologize and when to kind of bow out of certain situations and certain
Pick your
conversations too.
battles.
Yeah, you got to
Yeah.
learn, know how to pick your battles.
Yeah, and I heard like several times you done spoke on a good relationship
Hmm.
with the daughter. But now, what about them boys?
So my son is different. We don't argue, we don't fight. I do feel like my parenting style and his dad's parenting style is very different, because his dad is a lot more relaxed,
So,
and he don't have as many um
Concerns.
concerns, responsibilities when he's around him. So it's a little bit different.
so do you feel like this is what I ran into? uh, the problem be. Sometimes when them separations come into play, you
Mhm.
say you co-parenting, but co-parenting is coming together, getting on the same
Mhm.
page for the best outcome of your child
I
together
agree.
or kids together.
I agree.
And I done ran into situations where one parent to show their strength and you using the kid, but it ain't for the best interest. You
Mhm.
using it to
As a
respond
pawn.
as a power right move
Yeah.
against the daughter, mother, or against the father.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, if him, he said you can go do this. Cause like I'm with this. If your mom, like I caught my daughter, she got on punishment. Then he's like, yeah, I'm going off my dad's. I told, yeah, yeah, it's cool. Come on over, babe.
He's still on the
Soon
punishment.
as she got there, I said, by the way, you still on punishment.
See, backing her up. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
gotta back her play
Yeah.
Right. Right. Right.
because kids are smart. They will
They
play
will,
you
and my
against
son,
each
he
other.
does that when him and his
Yes.
dad might get into it when he's at his dad's house.
Yeah.
One thing I love though, he always called me to want to talk about it.
Right. That's good.
Anytime him and his dad get into it, he always call me and
Right.
want to
Right.
talk about it. And even though I don't always agree with him, sometimes I tell
Yeah.
him, "Well, you was wrong. You need to
Right.
apologize."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I tell him, and he'll listen. He does
Right.
listen,
That's
so
cool.
I appreciate that he feel like safe enough to want to call me when he have an issue with his dad.
Mm.
Sometimes his dad has an issue with him, and he'll call me. And I have to tell him, well, you can't communicate with him like that. You can't yell at him like that. Like you,
Right.
I have to explain to him, you got to learn how to sit down and have
Right.
communication, have
Right.
conversations, because he was raised to where when he got in trouble, he got yelled at. So now he do the
Right.
same thing with his kids.
Right. Then when we're in relationships, when they are together momentarily,
Hmm.
kids pay attention to you guys'
Hmm.
interaction and where communication, and
Hmm.
that sit and throws a child off. So
Hmm.
Absolutely.
once again, my to answer your question, my thing is go back and don't be too big of a person to not accept if you're wrong or may have done some things wrong,
Hmm.
but get that child to talk to you and find out whatever they have going on with you. Once y'all settle that, now you can move forward. If it's nothing but baby steps, but it's gonna get better because you
Hmm.
done cleared the air on some things. But if you sitting there high strong on you right, and this child feel you wrong, now you spinning your wheels and ain't getting nowhere.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And for,
Now,
And
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 George,
and and
you
and
gotta.
speaking on
you
parenting, wait a minute. Speaking, I'm taking care of my grandbaby right now.
So we got a couple comments we're gonna read.
right.
So Terry Lisa said, sometimes there's no, that's old.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
old.
So
The even
even
Did,
now my son is about to be 35 and my daughter 39. They both told me 5 years ago why why do I have to yell
yeah.
so
So I
So I
stopped,
stopped.
and
so I,
now we have better conversations, and I make sure I get their opinion in or on the subject. We come to a happy
Happy
medium.
medium.
Yeah,
Hmm.
medium. Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
good. Now, one thing that I would say that I feel like that y'all did crack the Morse code by way, and I think what I take from this and the most important thing is in communicating with anyone, you with your children included, it would be knowing how to apologize when you're wrong,
Hmm.
Yeah.
I think
knowing
that's
how, yeah,
huge.
yeah, that's a reset button
Hmm.
because it gives you a
They
chance to
respect
do
you
it
a
over.
lot more
Yeah,
when they see that you're
hey, I
able to
ain't
make a
perfect.
mistake. Hmm.
A lot of us we sit high and look low. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like you sit high and look low. I'm almighty. I ain't did nothing wrong. And if I'm
When
wrong,
you're
I'm right.
constantly
You know?
telling them, don't do this
Yeah,
and don't do that,
yeah,
sometimes you got to tell them, I did this. That's why I'm
And
telling you
that's
not
what
to
I
do it.
do.
I did that. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I tell my experiences and where I've been. I don't I you know, I'm a transparent person, and
Hmm.
I'm very transparent when it comes to my life. Because my life was I'm a reflection of my mom, and my kids are going to be a reflection of me. So I'm very transparent when it comes to that. But and back to the question that Larry was saying, and Mike, what can we do? I think a lot of the single parent, and when it comes to the dating thing, I think whoever you with accepts your child and try to be there, not as a parent, but as a figure, whatever figure of authority, of a support. I think they need to stand up and just be there for that mother and be there for the kids, and talk to the kids where the mother may not be able to talk. Well, that person that's in your life, maybe they can step up and
Mhm.
say, well, hey, let me pull you to the side. Let's have a conversation. Since you and your mom can't, let me see if I can come in. I think like it used to take a village. What happened to that? You
It
know.
still take a village.
Yeah.
That's what it still take a village, and I would just say for people who, not with the child's parent, I mean the child's parent, and you say you went up that it didn't work out and you moved on and found someone else, I would say to that person, make sure that you don't forget about your child and the importance of your relationship with your child.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I
Absolutely.
wouldn't so much put it on the person that's coming, because for a while your child your child may resent this person because he would rather see they would
Hmm.
rather see their dad and mom
Right.
together, or mom and dad
Ooh,
together.
big
So
issue.
and figuring you in the way, this new person, you in the way of this. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So just making sure that you don't forget, I would even strengthen your relationship with your own children. Even when you're trying to pursue another relationship, you should even work harder on your relationship with your children. That's
Yeah.
what I
Checking
Yeah.
in once a week, I think, would be helpful.
yeah.
Once a
Seeing if
week.
something on their mind.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Taking the
Yeah.
time,
Because kids
hey,
go through things
yeah,
that they
yeah,
don't talk
facts.
about, and
Yep.
sometimes it comes out in their behavior and the way that they treat you as a parent. So
Mhm.
sometimes you don't know because you didn't ask.
Yeah, and a lot of times
And
we receive
sometimes we get caught up in our everyday life. And I watch a lot of TV, and the kids commit suicide, and the parents don't know. They seem like they were okay. I didn't see any signs. The signs are always there if you're really paying attention. And especially depression run deep in kids. And a lot of times we don't know if they're in depression, but if we pay attention, like if I see mine, and I'll be like, hey, is you good? You want to talk about it?
Mhm.
And some parents, they just look at them like, oh, they all right. No, they're not all right.
Mhm.
So, and
Yeah.
I think that makes a difference.
Mhm. Yeah. Miss Terra Lisa said that is the best method, Larry.
Yeah, thank you, Mr.
Mhm.
Elisa. Yep. But I think that's very important. It's instrumental in far as finding a solution, because we all need to communicate with our children and have a strong line of communications. Not so much as hollering at them, or disciplining them through conversation, but accepting that, hey, you're an individual and you see things your way. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? And then what I like to do, I would tell them first, show me how you see it. It's like chess to me. So tell me how you see the situation. Then they be like, okay. And then I might show them another way to look at it. Hey, let's now we're gonna leave that right there. Now let's come around the table and look at it from this angle. And
Mhm.
what about this perspective? You know what I mean? Or and then show them another perspective.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And chances are they're gonna pick the one that make the most sense. And
Mhm.
yeah,
So now, do we take that same method and use it for children that's not ours?
yeah, facts.
We
Yes.
show them the same
Absolutely.
compassion.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Now, Miss Winfrey, may I ask you a question?
Uh,
Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think I've seen it on Jet Magazine. Is that the Whitney Houston edition that you have on today? The wig, your wig, is it?
you know what, Mike?
I, I,
Yes, it is.
well, I'm only firing a shot at you because you called me elf.
Yes, it is.
Okay, I knew
You
I
know
thought it
what,
looked
Mike?
like that one.
Tara Lisa
Oh,
had
I
another
owe you one.
comment. We'll say, okay, Tara Lisa say, I ask my kids and grandkids
Grandkids.
daily, how was your day? You know,
Yep.
that
Mhm.
it's a
Is it a great way
is
to
it
allow? It's a great way to
that is
allow
oh,
them
she's
to
saying that
open
is
up.
a great way
I
to
actually
allow them to open up.
ask everyone that question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't feel special, Miss Terry Lisa did. You ask everybody that.
Well, a lot of times, and then, sometimes when people ask, how was your day? A lot of people be like, I'm gonna keep it to myself because ain't like you gonna do nothing about it no way.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But yeah, it is good to ask, because
Yeah.
sometimes they will tell you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
Mhm.
will.
Yeah.
My daughter, I think this was the moment where I knew that she appreciated the way I communicate with her.
Mhm.
She has a best friend, and her best friend was going through something, and she
Okay.
brought her best friend to me to
See,
talk.
that shows she
Oh,
Wow.
value.
Yeah,
That
Wow.
shows
That's
she
now that
value.
yeah,
yeah.
that's huge.
Now,
yeah.
For real.
Steph, Miss Winfrey. Now, if I'm not
Yes.
mistaken, I just looked on the phone. Is that the one that she did the "How Will I Know" song in?
You know what? It's gonna be a Michael Jackson wig in a
Oh,
minute.
okay. I stop. I stop.
You
Hey,
say you
So
gonna tell him to
beat it.
beat it,
I stop.
I'm
huh?
gonna be.
But on a serious note, like Juice the Truth saying, her daughter bought the friend going through something. So
Wow.
that just
That's
shows
huge.
she
Hmm.
really value
Your
what
opinion.
your opinion
I said that. I said,
and
"Oh,
your
you must
And
value
not
relationship.
my
not
opinion to
not
bring your
just
friend to
not
me."
just your opinion, but she also value your approach.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was huge. That was a moment where I was like, okay,
right.
she do be listening.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That was
Then
a sure sign.
I
Hmm.
signed you up. I'm sorry, I signed you up for the free counseling session.
Who?
Last week I signed you up.
Yeah, Mike. I signed you up.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. George called me. We talked about it. We got
Really,
our,
I
he
think it
got
would
me
be
together.
extremely beneficial for parents to have some type of group where they can come together and kind of talk about some of
Yeah.
these same issues,
Cause
because a
we
lot of people,
go
a
through the
lot of parents,
same
yeah, go
things.
through some of the same issues with their children, especially young adults that are still like trying to navigate their own life and,
Mm-hmm.
confused about it. But just having conversations with other parents just
Right.
to see what will
What was
work.
your
Yeah.
approach? What did you
Yeah.
do?
Hmm.
Now,
Did you get the desired,
excuse
outcome?
Yeah.
excuse me, piggybacking off what you and Larry said,
Hmm.
because you both touch bases on that, which is going back to that village. So it means that we need to get more things going with, like, have a parent
Organized.
luncheon
Hmm.
and talk about things. We need to have a meeting place
Like I said,
because
make it
there
an
are
open
some things that
space.
need to be
Yeah, yeah.
reiterated out here.
If
And
you
on
got a bunch of kids, and this is like what I had a friend, me and my friend, we started a kind of like a coaching business, and we
Mhm.
went to International Academy of Flint, and
okay.
we did sessions with some of these kids. And these are some of the kids, they never have a chance to just express themselves without
Yep.
punishment, without
Okay, so
discipline.
and
So
that's that
gay,
key that you
yeah,
said.
gay. We
Yes.
played games where we put questions in a bucket, and everybody pulled the
Oh
question out.
wow.
So they was able to ask a question and get everybody's opinion or thoughts on whatever question they had.
It was
So
smart.
that was real helpful, because a lot of kids, they really felt like they never had a voice
Wow.
until that moment
Hey.
where they
Wow.
was able to express something that maybe they feel like their parents don't do
Hmm.
right. you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think parents don't like to be criticized. That's a huge thing, especially by their own kids.
So we sitting
Yep.
high and looking low.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yep.
Man. Yeah.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that.
Totally agree with that as well. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, anybody want to help raise this one?
It take a village.
Pass, pass.
Yeah. Definitely take a village.
I've witnessed what she done to you guys.
Huh?
Yeah.
I've witnessed what she done to you guys. I pass.
Yeah, you passed.
Yeah.
She's something else.
Well, yeah. Well, it's definitely been a very nice show. You know what I mean? And I'm sure we can go on and on because there's a lot we probably missed. But the most important thing that I'm taking from this personally is apologizing when you're wrong. Apologizing
Yeah.
when you're wrong, because that's like a reset button. When you sincere, don't apologize. Don't ruin a good apology with an excuse.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just a sincere apology and try to be better and do something better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you can have better communication skills with your children and so just any other people that you interact with. You know.
Hmm.
And this just ain't,
And I,
we was talking about the children, but this same rule applies to even any of your relationships with any adults or any friend, anybody and everybody.
Yeah.
And that's what I took from it.
apology. Yeah.
And
And
go
Hmm.
that
ahead.
apology go a long ways.
Facts.
And I've learned to do that because I think sometimes as parents, like we were saying earlier, because we parents, We don't feel like a child, we might not be wrong when it comes to what we telling them or how we how we raising them or anything like that. But I had a few times had to apologize. Okay, well, I apologize for that. I'm
Mm-hmm.
learning to do that even more. If I feel like, hey, maybe I did overstep my boundaries with you, because my kids are now grown, so as they when they reach a certain age, I do have to be more aware and self-conscious that, okay, these are not kids anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
so, but when my motherhood, I'm like, oh, but then I have to say, okay, I do, let me apologize and do more listening than talking. I'm learning to do that too.
Yeah,
Listen to
facts.
the kids.
Oh,
Yeah.
Fact. Would you like to say anything before we
um I think that was the biggest thing, just learning how to apologize and having open communication, giving a kid a safe space to be able to speak their mind and express themselves without any repercussions.
Yeah.
yeah, sure.
George, you ain't said nothing. Is this one you taking stand out of? You usually have a question.
He don't have any kids.
That don't mean he don't be around them or got nieces, nephews or something, god kids or something. Can't write the man off.
I've helped raise a
He
few children,
he
but
looking for a
I'm
baby
not an
mama.
expert in this field. And
See that man with her.
Nobody is an
Yeah,
expert
that's
in the
why we
field. That's
talking
the
about it.
thing.
You
understood,
see how she takes shots, man.
but
But I owe
that,
Grundy that one.
Yeah, but he say that's why you sitting up here with a glow in the dark wig on.
Go ahead,
That was a
finish
good
saying,
one,
George.
George. That was a good one.
oh
Finish
wow,
saying.
Cut the lights
um,
out for us.
but yeah, I was passionate about the children that I had under my care, um, and so it's one of those things that I care and cared about them very much, um, all of them. But it's still one of those things that now I'm in a different phase of my life. Uh, I can't. And Pooh Diddy said it when he was here. He said, "We
Yeah,
ain't breaking what we didn't. We ain't fixing what we didn't break."
right.
Hmm.
So everybody that's been in my life know that my door is open if they need it. But
Oh,
How
I'm
was
glad
the
to know that.
communication when you was in their life? How was the
it was
communication?
that was I brought the communication.
Okay, so you had a
Well, I'll
good
tell you
communication.
this then. Even by you saying what you said right now, and from the time that you said it to the day, it may not seem them, but them people will never forget you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Later on, when they get to developing, they'll never forget you.
And
Yep.
gonna
Some
use some
things
of the
as a
good
kid you
qualities you
will
brought
never
everybody.
forget. I
Right.
I remember I had a stepdad when I was about 10, 11 years old. He was getting ready to marry my mom. And this was the first time any man has ever set me down to talk to me.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
And because my dad was not really there growing up, we never like really had deep conversations or anything like that. But my stepdad set me down and he told me, I'm gonna marry your mama. I'm
Oh
gonna be your
wow.
dad figure. If you need anything, you let me
Oh
know.
wow.
Mm.
Like he really sat
That's
down
what's
and had a
up.
conversation, and
Hey,
that's a
hey,
conversation that always
hey.
stuck with me because no man has ever
They
did that prior to that
they still
time.
together?
No, they've been divorced over 20
Your
some
mom still living?
years. Yeah, my mom's
Would
still
you happen to
living.
have a?
She remarried
Oh,
and
she remarried now.
yeah,
Well, I don't need. I was finna
he
ask, do
just
you have a picture of
actually
her? We don't need no picture.
my stepdad just passed away last
Oh,
year.
I'm sorry to hear
Oh,
that.
so
So,
sorry.
but
So
like I
what's
said,
his
that's
name?
something that
What's his name?
his name was Carl Ray.
Carl Ray.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Wow.
That was something that
All right,
always stuck
Carl
with
Ray.
me.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I think kids, if you when you really like place something on their heart, it's something the kids will always
Right.
remember who was
Now,
there.
now,
Remember
now
you
what you
Yeah.
specific.
what you think of the new cat?
Oh, I love him.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he's a great
He on
granddad
top of
to
his
my
game
to my
too.
kids
There you
and
go. You done got
That's
lucky,
good.
yeah,
That's
man.
good.
yeah,
You got luck. Salute to you as well, sir.
yep.
You done
Yeah.
Yep.
got two of
That's
them.
good.
Which I am. I got my. See, that's another thing with me. I do not use step. I was
Mhm.
blessed. My mom deceased. I was blessed
Yeah.
with another one.
Beautiful woman.
Yeah.
Beautiful woman.
Wonderful,
Beautiful,
wonderful.
beautiful woman.
You know.
Man.
RJ had a response.
Okay.
My stepkids will always be my babies. Even though I'm not with their mother anymore, I keep
Absolutely.
communication open
Hey,
and let
As you
them
should,
know
hey,
I love them.
regularly.
I love them regularly.
yeah.
And this has nothing to do with the
Hey,
fact
Get
that
out the chair.
I'm pretty sure one of them is going
To
to
the
the
go to the
NBA.
NBA.
NBA. Yeah.
Okay, well, hey,
Well, just I mean, just what
Yeah.
he said, just keeping in contact. Because a lot of times relationships die with the relationships.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
that's when it's false.
Sometimes it's
Yeah.
only there for a moment. Sometimes the moment is not supposed to last
Right,
forever,
right.
but
Right.
it's supposed to
But it's
end.
what you can take out of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Just like we were saying, whatever input he put in with them kids, when they come
Hmm.
into their own,
Yeah.
oh,
Oh
they
yeah.
gonna
They
remember.
They'll
And
remember
don't be
that.
man.
surprised if they look you up.
They
Hey,
going. They
hey,
going to
man, I just want
trust
to
me
tell you this.
Understood, but
Kids
I think one
know
of
who impact them
the
the
most.
most.
Yeah,
one
Right.
of the
Right.
Yeah.
larger things
Yep.
was that um in one situation their father came back. It's like he couldn't deal with the you know
Relationship that you had with
yeah
them.
because I'm
well, let's be
you
honest.
know
Uh, let's be honest. Coming from that perspective, there's no way he feel. For one, he didn't like you there from the giddy up. Because if he got back into play, his feelings never left for that woman. So you the enemy. So he gonna try to cut everything
Yep.
possible on that. That's gonna be for any of us that's in a situation like that.
uh, yeah,
Yep. And I know that firsthand.
I believe children need their fathers, and
Oh, facts.
I don't
No,
get in the
no.
way of that. I don't care if
Oh, fact, I
how
agree
that
with
go.
that.
And if
But
they don't have their father, a surrogate father,
the other
real do
part
a
of it,
real
Hmm.
one.
the other part of
For
it
real.
is that I in certain situations I was a few times about to go to jail over them dealing with their father, and 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 it was real weird to me because it's that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
That's pulling up some
We'll
things.
make that a whole nother subject on another day.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I'm with that subject.
I bet you are.
So okay,
And I
so
believe what Larry said about y'all too. It's just something I see somewhere down the line. A boo, love American style. Go ahead.
yeah, y'all.
No,
Hey, I told y'all a match made in
Because
heaven.
you
You
say
see?
my
no.
name one way,
Listen, first
Yeah.
of
you say
all,
his name another way.
no, I'm not in childbearing stages. He need kids.
Oh, y'all done already discussed that then.
Hmm.
No, he tell
Oh,
everybody that.
oh, no, 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 no. Yo,
No,
y'all done already discussed that then. So y'all
no.
already, tried to take the puzzle and see if the pieces fit, huh?
Grandy,
And I'll tell you what it changed that. Once them, once they called it them blue halls, once blue halls set in, change up the mindset. Let me not be too hasty.
Oh, okay,
and
okay.
Grundy still got milk.
Now,
Grundy still
Grundy,
got milk.
mm,
I'm 60 years old.
if you quit, let me tell you something. That's just like name dropping. You keep dropping
I,
your age, like you know what I mean. Like
yeah,
ain't nobody heard 9 shows ago that you 60. You know what I'm
I'm
yeah,
saying?
60,
You don't look
and
60,
I'm
so that's
proud
all
of
that
it.
matters. That's right.
right.
Yeah.
And
But
Grundy, he no.
See,
no, see,
you
I
say my
see, yeah.
name different. Why you say he is with so much to it?
Passion,
Yeah, but
Grundy.
me is like
Hey,
this
and
damn
hold
mic.
on. She went to popping her neck like Eartha
Yeah,
Kitt.
you ain't saying this. Are
Arr,
you
Grundy,
saying it?
arr.
Grundy,
I
I
can't
think they done married us and everything.
It sounds like
I'm
Yeah,
telling you, we
yeah.
on our
I could just
honeymoon
see it.
and
Oh, look at
everything.
I
this.
can see
Look
it. Look,
how
he
his voice
cheesing.
done changed.
Look at it. He
Yeah,
cheesing. I
yeah.
ain't even know your
Hey,
cheeks go
look,
that
he
high.
went in his Billy D mode. Yeah, he ain't like that. Put it that way.
Seems like she's ready.
45.
R.
Oh,
Kelly voice.
could y'all imagine me pregnant at 60?
You gonna have to do it. Break the record.
Hey, I know that baby coming out with a full goatee.
Yes.
Making his own bottle.
Hey,
Intelligent.
for real, you dig?
Coming out of
Hey,
engineering.
and if it's a girl, she gonna come out with lashes already.
Yeah.
You know,
With a college degree.
And that
better
Dino,
go.
And
and
the
that
college,
Dino Ross look.
no, Juice, you is on their bandwagon.
Well, yeah,
It's
Juice
gonna
and
be a
said a
smart
college
baby.
degree.
yeah,
It's
Yeah.
gonna be a
intelligent
smart
baby. You dig?
baby.
Intelligent baby, because two intelligent people can make an intelligent child.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The
Yeah,
other one have a little Dino Ross.
it's gonna have on a Diana Ross wig.
Well, look at here. So it's been a beautiful thing, sharing sharing this conversation with you guys, and women, you know. I really enjoyed it, personally
Me
because I
too.
got something from it. And
Me too.
I'm not gonna be against apologizing. Cause sometimes as
Absolutely.
parents, we can say, dang, I was kind of harsh, I was wrong, and just leave it. We
Yep.
saying it to ourselves, and we don't, we don't voice those views
Mhm.
outwardly. You'd be like, man, I did, and you didn't hurt the baby feelings or hurt the
Right.
child feelings, and you did, and you just be like, man, I was kind of wrong, but you didn't say it to the child where it really mattered at. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So, let's try to do better with being more apologetic for some of the things that we do.
Absolutely.
And if it hurt, if and you think about it, and you think about how it would make you feel, and if it would hurt you, chances are it hurt them too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that's what I got to say. And anybody want to say anything in closing before we shut it down for the week?
Just there's nothing wrong with apologizing.
Flat out.
That's it.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with apologizing. You're human. They're human. They understand just like you understand.
Yeah. I
And
agree.
listen to your children now.
Mhm.
That
Right.
was some
More
things that I
listening,
wasn't doing.
less talking.
Right.
More listening, less
And
talking.
I
That's
want
good too, Steph.
I want
That's
to
good.
send a shout out to James Mayfield, the greatest,
Yeah, the greatest Mayfield.
greatest Mayfield, George F. Grundy
Grundy
the
the second.
second, who's always come through,
Yeah.
and definitely my brother Larry Lott,
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
definitely
Absolutely.
Thank you.
for
Thank you.
putting me
And
in this position, inviting me.
let me say this. I appreciate all y'all for real. And I couldn't do it without y'all,
Thank
because
you.
I'll be
Oh,
up in there talking about myself,
now
talking to
what's the
myself.
Steph? And do it, is it MU the jock? Do that.
Oh,
Yeah.
MUA
Great
job.
job.
Yeah,
Oh, makeup, yeah.
Yeah.
makeupIsmylife.com.
Okay, you know it
Yeah.
as well.
Yes.
Jacqueline Mayfield, yeah.
Okay, you do
Shop
that
with
one.
her.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Now,
Shout
Makeup
out to
is my
Jock.
life.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Makeup
Now
is
you
my
can do
life.
yours to it.
Hmm.
You can shoot your shout out to MU. What is it, Jock?
MUA Jock.
Oh yeah, shout out
Yeah.
to MUA Jock,
Yeah.
Jacqueline
Makeup is
Mayfield.
my
Yep.
Mhm.
Get your
One of the
makeup needs.
top
Oh,
makeup artists around Flint,
okay then.
810.
But her husband made it clear. She don't care, he don't care how much you paying. She will not be putting no makeup on a man.
and she
Yeah,
taught
don't do
and
that.
she taught my
Dennis
daughter how
Rodman,
to do
Dennis
makeup, and my
Rodman.
daughter is
Uh,
she's really good.
Yeah,
yeah.
she is. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Well,
she taught my daughter.
yeah. Well, that's a beautiful
Okay,
thing.
that's what's happening.
Yeah, so we're gonna I'm gonna say shout out to the James Mayfield, the greatest Mayfield. Shout out to George F. Grundy the second. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Money Mike. Shout out to Miss Stephanie. Shout out to Mrs. the incomparable Juice the Truth. And shout out to the baby. Look at the baby. Let me see you wave. Wave.
One thing for
Hey,
sure,
yeah.
if I tell a lie, you're gonna definitely get juice the truth. So hey, you're gonna get it.
That's
For
right.
sure.
That's right. Y'all take care. Have a safe week.
All right.